Hello, my name is Trevor Longhofer. I'm on the media team for Revonics Gemini, or FTC 10173. So as media team, my job responsibilities are to promote or advertise our team in any way, any positive way with any means at my disposal, which is really one of the strengths of media, I would say, is your only limit to what you can do is your creativity. And I've done a handful of things to really put us out there. Like, for instance, the first thing I'll mention is Twitter. So I largely head myself, most of it, our Twitter page. And on Twitter, I'll go on there and I'll post videos and I'll post photos that sort of mark down the milestones of our design. So one day, if we have the chassis built, I'll take a picture of that, and then the next day we might have the wheels put in. I'll take a picture of that. That's a pretty effective and pretty standard way of really promoting your robot, and as well as videos too. I love taking videos of when we run mock matches, and just kind of videos that show the design process and build process. Slapping parts together and putting them on and making our robot, getting it ready for competition, making it really, really work. And then also on Twitter, we're also following a lot of the other Twitter pages that are run by other schools that also have robots this year to submit. And I go in there, I like their posts, I like their videos, just sort of lots of things that really kind of are all in the web of robotics. There are other teams working on it, so I like to follow what they're doing as well. And speaking of Twitter, one of the things I did this year was I edited the Twitter banner. So it used to be the last year's engineering team, but this year, since we're in hybrid, it was a little more, I would say, tricky. So what I had to do was I had half the team take a picture in the morning and have a team take the picture in the afternoon. And I would Photoshop those images together and create the illusion of us all being one whole team, all there in person. And that was one of my major accomplishments this year. That was really felt like a unique sort of thing that I had done. And then speaking of creating and photoshopping things, I made some logos, which were kind of an attempt to maybe have some sort of alternate form of promotion. But that was really cool because we actually had an entire podcast episode around it where I showed off some of the new logos I had made. And the logos, because our team's a Raven, they were Raven inspired, so I got to play around with the colors like blue and black, which are our school colors. But speaking of podcasts, that's also something that I did this year. Right now we're up to 5 episodes. And what it is I get somebody on, typically on the weekends. I get a sub-team member to be on the podcast where I talk with them, ask them a series of questions when we record it. And it's typically all audio, and the video aspect is just a picture of our logo, this one right here. We talk about several things like where the team is at, how we feel about the current situation, being split up in school, and just sort of all things of that nature. And I'll usually have on a whole different bunch of sub-teams, so we all get to hear kind of their perspective and how they feel about the team they're on and what it's like, what the struggles are. But beyond from that, I also wanted to put together possibly a highlight reel for this robot we have. Like I said, a highlight reel, so a bunch of videos put together to kind of be the ultimate promotion for our robot. And that's still in the works. That kind of leads me to team relations. I work very closely with all members of the team, kind of because I have to in order to collab to get the best videos, the best pictures. For instance, I'll talk with them to make sure I space out all my pictures, so we're really getting the step-by-step creation, like I said earlier. One day it's the chassis, the next day they tell me, okay, we'll have the wheels put in, so I'll take a picture of them the next day where they have the wheels. And communication is really key. Which is, doubly so, I would say. That's exemplified. Communication is exemplified in our podcasts because I have to arrange them, and they're always really good sports when I talk with them on that show, which are all up on YouTube right now, by the way. I would say the cons of the job, though, is while you do have creative freedom, there is a lot of collaboration that needs to be done, and a lot of focusing, and surprisingly a lot of in-school work as much as out. For instance, maintaining the Twitter page is a lot of out-of-school work, and it's something that you might forget about, so you always have to stay on top of that. Other than that, I recommend this position. It's really fun. Like I said, the limits of what you can do is limited only by your creativity, and I recommend it to anybody. Thanks for watching.